Today we remember those that we lost on September 11th, 2001, and we pray that we can return to a time similar to September 12th, when the country was united as one, no matter your color, race, or gender, and that we continue to support our first responders who face difficult situations, and we're grateful for their service. Welcome to the Scoop on Miami Adventures. I'm Ernie Emad, and on today's show, we visit Azucar Ice Cream Company's grand opening of their third location in Downtown Dadeland. We chat with the owner, Susie Battle, and discover together these Cuban and Latin creations, sourced fresh from our farmers, with their farm-to-cone philosophy. And I'll get to taste some of their great creations. And that's on today's program of the Scoop on Miami, and it gets started right now.
Hi, I'm Ernie Emad, and I've saved a seat for you to ride along shotgun with me on the new Scoop on Miami Adventures. And it all starts right here, right now. Good afternoon. We are in Downtown Dadeland today at the grand opening of Azucar Ice Cream Company, and I'm here with the owner, Susie Bachi, but I know that everybody knows you by Battle, correct? And
Yes.
What a battle you've taken on here with your second location. So tell me a little bit, because you are the driving force behind this. And when we were off the air, we were talking about you were 20 years in the mortgage business, so you know the finance industry,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
And you guys are ice cream lovers, and you turned this right in the middle of 2008 when chaos was happening in real estate and and you made a decision to go into business by yourself. Welcome to the Scoop on Miami, and tell us a little bit about that.
Thank you so much. So I did go into business by myself. So 2008, I was in the banking industry on the finance side, and the industry plummeted. So I didn't have a job, I didn't know what to do, and I had two children, or I still have them. So those guys are still around. They were asking me to open an ice cream store, and because we love ice cream. So we have eaten ice cream every day of our lives since I was a kid, since they were kids, and I just thought it was such a dumb idea, and I didn't listen to them. So I took another year. I became a real estate agent in Key Biscayne at the Ritz. So my friend is the broker there, and then I started saying, you know what, I could do this. So I went to school to Penn State. Penn State has an ice cream school. So I went, it's a world-renowned school. So I went to the ice cream school there. I went to another school in St. Louis. And being Cuban, I said, what's the only place I could ever open an ice cream shop that's a homemade Cuban ice cream shop? Little Havana.
You know, I love your story because we are big on environment, correct?
Yes.
And to buy and source local, because
Yes.
it's so important.
Yes.
And that's a big part of your business, to really bring in the local farmers and the local suppliers to supply these wonderful creations of yours. Tell us about how that came about.
So for me, it was about being pure. And so I wanted to clean up the ice cream. I don't like flavors. I don't like flavoring. So little by little, I started meeting all of the farmers in the Redlands. And it was so great, and to realize, like, take a mamey. You have to, obviously, nature and the farmer makes the mamey for me. We grab it, we take it back, we wait till it's ripe, we open it ourselves, we take out the fruit, and all we do is add cream. So it's as pure as it could possibly get. So that's what I love. That's why I think that I'm still in business. And I think people love this ice cream. It's extreme. I don't add sugar to it. And
Wow.
everything's
All
as
the
pure as
natural
it is.
sweetness. That
Right.
is fantastic. And today, which we look for, away from
Yes.
preservatives and everything, you know, we had the owners of L&M Farms on our program a few months ago, and they do mamey and everything. And we know why mamey takes, there's 2 seasons for them to grow,
Right.
and 2 hurricanes and 2 winters and so
Yes.
forth, correct? And even though he said it doesn't always amount to the dollars on the farm, but by the time it gets to the market, that's why mamey is so expensive. And obviously Miami is such a multicultural city, and to bring the Cuban flavors.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about your personal story, where you're from, your family, your upbringing, because this is what makes you today.
So we're Cuban. My parents are Cuban. My grandparents are Cuban. I was born here in Miami. I went to school. Actually, my first school was a preschool right where the Marlins Stadium is, Candyland. And so I was I was in that area younger, and then all of a sudden I just thought that I got to bring this back to my roots. And that's really what started Azucar and what kept us going. So as a matter of fact, my best friend Pat, who's actually here today, named it Azucar. So she's the one who actually named Azucar. And obviously Celia Cruz.
We have the queen of Azucar.
Yes.
Well, you're taking those reins now.
Yes.
But without a doubt, it's so important because not only do people come to Miami, because Miami was really Latin flavors is a huge influence, started by Cubans, and now it's such multicultural because it used to be English and Spanish when you went to Brickell, and
right.
It's everything. And you're really bringing these wonderful flavors to America and to the world, and they wish they can have these tropical and exotic flavors in their place. So what is the process of choosing, because your menu changes based on the seasons
season
of the fruit and the best that you can source, right?
Absolutely. So I do buy mamey at some point. We're buying like 10,000 pounds of it. We are buying mango at the same rate, guava at the same rate. So we were trying to freeze it and hold on to it. So I did open a store in Dallas. So my mother, being here 58 years, decided that she was going to go help my brother, who's a neurosurgeon. I don't think he needs any help. She's 90 years old, but she moved to Dallas. So going back and forth to Dallas, I decided I was going to open an Azucar there.
Wow.
So I didn't know how the people were going to react to this type of ice cream, to these flavors, and they love it.
Well, there's a lot of Latins in Texas to begin with, and the Azucar is such a great name. You know, one of the things that caught me is you're a detail-oriented person. From repurposing guayaberas, I mean, what a wonderful way to bring Cuba in little elements within your location. Tell me about how that came about.
I don't know that the people that I stole them from were that happy, because I took them out of everybody's closets.
Did you? Okay.
Yes, and so we used those for the seating. But as I was thinking, I'm Cuban, what can I bring to the table? So what can I bring other than my Latin background, different flavorings? So the tiles were very important to me. So the tiles are replicas of what you would see in Cuba today.
Very popular today.
Right, well, super popular. 9 years ago when I put them in, they were not as popular. So I decided that I was going to have fun with that. We decided to do the actual guayabera shirts because I thought, how much fun is that? And what was the most fun for me was when my grandmother came from Cuba, there was a phenomenon that everybody had plastic on their furniture. I have no idea why. It was disgusting.
We were the same way, you know, from Finger Hut, from our car. My father had those little bubbly wraps to our furniture when we didn't really have formal living rooms, but that's what we had. So it's funny that you bring that up.
So you'd sit on it, and I remember being a kid and sweating, and then all of a sudden getting up from those seats. So I remember thinking, you know what, I'm going to do guayabera seats, but I'm going to bring in that plastic for my grandmother. So I laugh every time I look at it. It's actually pretty efficient because you could clean it very well. And so that's where that plastic came from.
You know, abuelitas are very endearing to Hispanics and to Cubans. We lost ours at 104.
Wow.
If you say that abuelita is an inspiration for some of these flavors, what would be the wildest flavor you've come up with that's been a hit?
I mean, we've made ice cream out of everything. So we even did like a chicken and waffles.
Oh my goodness.
Which sounds disgusting, but it was like a bestseller for a while.
Wow.
So yes, so we play around with pretty much anything. So that's the fun part of this job.
Is the R&D, right? You get the taste and so forth.
Absolutely.
And you create all of these in some back room somewhere? Or where are these created? In the mind?
In the mind, in the kitchen, like all of a sudden if I go to a restaurant and I taste something and I say, this is delicious together, like a pairing, I can make this into ice cream. So that's really where I always go.
Wow, so you're always thinking about something new. Approximately how many flavors do you typically have on hand at any one of, you have two locations, right? Calle Ocho and this one here.
And Dallas.
And Dallas, correct. Can't forget
Dallas. So I
Dallas.
normally have at least 35 with me, but we definitely make at least 120.
Oh my goodness! So you beat that 33 flavor brand
Yes.
by a long shot. So
By a long.
that's fantastic. We had on, I think it was episode 5 or 6, your neighbor Bill Fuller of Ball and Chain.
Yes.
Being a realtor and a broker, tell me a little bit about what went into that fabulous location that you chose.
So Bill's a friend of mine for a
Okay.
long time, and actually I met him in the mortgage side when I was doing mortgages because I was doing mortgages for his family. So we became very close friends very quickly, and he actually owns that piece of land that Azucar's on and Ball and Chain.
Correct. Yes.
So I remember sitting in there was a sushi restaurant owned by my friend named Bond. It was called To Be Asian across the street. And I was seeing buses coming by.
Yes.
And I'm like, what is this? What are they coming to see? And lo and behold, they were coming to see Domino Park. And I was like, sort of like embarrassed to be Cuban, and that's all that Little Havana had to see at that point in time. We had the Tower Theater.
Correct.
It closed for a spell, but it was Domino Park, and that's pretty much it. And I said, you know what? I got to do something here.
Miami's hot year round, right?
Miami's hot, and I remember calling Bill, and I said, you know what, Bill? I see a for lease sign, and back in the day, it wasn't Ball and Chain, but there was a cigar shop, and then he, in 5 minutes, brought me the keys, and he said, you do whatever you want.
Wow.
Like, no questions asked.
You
And
went out of the box with that
I went out of
signage.
the box. Yes, yes.
Wow. Tell me about that
So
sign.
I just figured I got to go big or go home.
Yes.
So I either make a statement or I don't make a statement. So Bill actually is the one who started me thinking about the sign. And it ended up that they made it in my backyard.
Huh.
So I don't think my birds or the pool man was happy because it was everywhere.
Fiberglass, a
It
little
was
bit of everything.
styrofoam.
Oh, styrofoam. Oh my goodness.
So the girl would carve it every day, and then it was crazy. But
What?
that is just, I mean, it's an iconic building now.
Well, it is an iconic building, and you know, one of the things, because you're 9 years into this, so it
Yeah.
took you from 2008 or 9 to 2011 to actually open your doors. So there's a lot of work and
I went
concept
to
and
school,
school
right.
and the whole thing. So everything has been very meticulous, planned out. But as I drive down Calle Ocho, you are really an iconic business that you can think has been there for 20 years or
Yeah.
30 years.
Yeah.
That's the fabulous thing.
funny.
And you have customers that now with the pandemic less, but 3 million visitors being bussed to your front door every year can't be a bad thing.
Not a bad thing. Not a bad thing.
What's your favorite flavor?
So mine is Willy Chirino.
Willy
so
Chirino.
we call
Oh,
it
my
Willy
goodness.
Chirino.
Oh, churros.
Because it has cherries.
Oh, cherries.
So it's a bourbon ice cream. Bourbon goes very well with cream. And it's 2 different types of cherries. So it's a big black cherry and a maraschino cherry.
fantastic.
And Willy Chirino actually loves it. So he comes in and has it and takes it home and loves it.
So you've got all the celebrities following,
Yeah, he loves it.
from Asians to Americans to South Americans. They really come to your place. It's incredible. As
love
I
it.
was looking and seeing all of the reviews that you have and the people wishing that these flavors came to their town. Have you thought about franchising Azucar?
Well, I think franchising would kill me. So I'm not a fan of the franchise, but I could do it myself.
Yeah, that's true.
So-
and open up spaces.
Right.
And you know, you were not afraid to open up in the middle of a pandemic.
No.
Correct? And I know a lot of people are going to be making changes in their own lives because after 2008, people made changes
Yes.
just like yourself.
Once again.
And what advice would you give someone that is kind of tossing around in their mind of saying, you know, I don't want to do what I'm currently doing. I want to follow my dreams and my passion. What advice can you give them?
I've reinvented myself so many times, and I just think that you can't be scared of reinventing. Do something else.
I am a big proponent.
Yes,
I love
I heard your
change.
story.
I embrace change, and I think that that is so important because life changes, business change, and if we don't change with it, we become a dinosaur.
And that's
Are
really
you
living,
correct?
right?
That's
So
it.
you've got to get out of your comfort zone and live your life, because if you live it in a small box, what are you doing?
That's absolutely great. So I I know you do catering.
Yes.
So that means that your ice cream travels well.
Yes.
And during pandemics, there are smaller venues, smaller things. So tell us about some of your catering.
So when the pandemic started, I never closed one day. So that was very difficult because I wanted to keep the staff, and they pay rent, and you know, they have to eat. So there was no way I was going to close. Financially, it was that's a very difficult decision to make because I lost a ton of money. But I feel that because we stayed open, we started delivering. We were delivering to Fort Lauderdale, we were delivering to Palmetto Bay, we were delivering to Homestead, we were everywhere.
So now you have a delivery business.
Now I have a delivery business as
Fantastic.
well.
So if you can't get to 8th Street, if you can't get to downtown Dadeland, you can get your favorite flavors delivered to you.
Absolutely.
We are tasting right now some of these incredible, let me tell you, it looks so amazing. It's so hard for me to choose. So I'm gonna let you choose for me because with my weight, I eat everything.
So the most Cuban of all flavors is mantecado.
Mantecado, of course. Okay, perfect. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and try mantecado right now. There's nothing more Cuban than mantecado.
That is correct.
That's absolutely, you know, from the little carts that serve you the mantecado snow cones.
Yes.
I've never had mantecado ice cream, so I'm excited to try it.
Park would come in and they'd say, "Hey, where's the mantecado?" And I'd be like, "I don't even know what you're talking about." So I had to look back at recipes and try to figure it out. So what was funny was that I looked back, my grandmother actually had a recipe, but the people in Domino Plaza thought that it should have a little more nutmeg and a little more cinnamon. So I don't know if they liked watching me walk back and forth with the ice cream for them to taste it, or they, you know, whatever it was, but we started laughing, and this is the recipe from those gentlemen.
Wow, so it's an authentic Cuban mantecado.
Yes.
What is mantecado?
Mantecado is the most Cuban of all ice creams, and it is an egg-based ice cream. So because it's egg-based, it tastes like a little bit like maybe an eggnog or a French vanilla.
Exactly.
That's really what I could say that it tastes like.
This is so delicious.
Awesome.
Unbelievable flavor.
So we have a trademark flavor called Abuela Maria.
Oh, my goodness.
So it is guava, cream cheese, and Maria crackers. So that is like a Cuban delight,
Of course.
Cuban treat, Cuban everything.
So let's try that.
Yes, you can't get more Cuban than this ice cream. So let me let you get a little taste here.
So what sizes can people buy when they come here?
So they could buy pints. They can buy it in a cup, in a cone.
Okay.
So we make waffle cones here every day, homemade. And so they could buy it in any of those formats.
Oh my goodness.
And for parties, we actually sell the entire 5-liter bin.
Do you?
Yes.
The 5-liter bin.
Yes.
Wow, that's incredible. You know, one thing I want to try, which I'm a fan of, is lychee.
Okay.
And
yes.
I can't. So you have cones as well,
Yes.
right? Waffle cones.
Yes.
What other type of cones?
Sugar cones.
Sugar cones. Okay.
So those two.
Fine. And then you have all your little cup sizes and so forth, right?
And pints.
And the pints.
And half pints.
So everything is cream based, correct?
We do make sorbets
Okay.
because some people are lactose intolerant, and I also make vegan.
You do.
So to make the vegan, I use pea milk.
Interesting.
I know.
And how often
Weird.
do you have vegan ice cream?
In Dallas, all the time
time.
because everybody loves it so much. And here we're starting to bring it, especially into Downtown Dadeland.
Fantastic. Beautiful. I'll try the lychee.
You got it.
And how long does it take to make? Are they made in each individual store, or is it made in one central location, the bases, and then sent to freeze here?
So what we do is we make them in each individual store. So Dallas makes it, Little Havana makes it, and we make it here.
And they all follow your strict recipes.
Recipes, correct.
And obviously these are lychees from right here
Yes.
in Florida.
And I'll tell you what, there's a huge difference between the lychee in Florida and the lychee in Dallas. And I didn't know that. So those taste like nothing. Probably because
The
they've
clay,
been imported.
soil. Oh, okay, got it.
So that's really the issue, right? So for me, I have to bring the fruit with me. So I bring it on American Airlines.
Oh, my goodness. And lychee's expensive, you know, if you're
Yes.
buying it off, it's
Yes.
$5 a pound.
Yes.
My goodness, it's right there with sirloin, just
Right.
about, correct? How long does it take you to make a batch of ice cream?
I would say it takes me about maybe 15 minutes to make the batch, but then it goes into a batch freezer, which is negative 22 degrees.
Oh, my goodness.
From negative 22 degrees, then we move it to a regular freezer, and then it can come out and see you guys.
So it's frozen in 3 different
Yes.
stages.
Yes.
So that negative 22 is a quick freeze.
And the last thing you want on your ice cream is ice.
It's ice, absolutely. So you don't get that by
Correct.
doing that.
Correct.
That's fantastic. So
So I have mamey here if you want to try that
I
as
do
well.
want to, because that is, other than mantecado, right?
Yes.
Mamey.
A big favorite.
And that's also from here,
Yes,
right?
from the Redlands. And that's just mamey with cream. And if you're a coffee lover, this café con leche is the best thing you'll ever have.
I will try that. The one thing I love about this mamey, you know, mamey is almost like from the níspero family, that kind, which could be very gritty.
Yes.
And this is very smooth and delicious, and I can see only mamey and cream, because the mamey is what shines in this particular
And it takes
flavor.
a long time to get fruit to the point where I want to make it into ice cream. And a lot of care. And people don't realize all that it takes to get this done.
I would imagine it's close, because you go a little too far and your
Yes.
fruit rots, and you
Yes.
need that perfect balance
Yes.
of that natural sweetness, right, which takes place after picking, I would imagine.
And each batch is different. So I could get a batch of mangoes from one farmer and then go to get a batch of mangoes from another farmer, and they taste totally different. Well, I mean, the same variety.
The same variety, right.
Still tastes different because of the earth. There's a lot that goes into it.
And that's part of, I think, the great thing about enjoying natural flavors, natural ingredients,
Yes.
that you have that variety of nuances and flavors,
Yes.
as opposed to some of these ice creams that, you know, you get in your big box grocery stores that all,
No, and you could leave it out and it'll never melt.
oh, well, we've heard that specifically
Right.
with ice cream sandwiches.
Right.
They're really not ice cream inside.
No, they're
You know?
chemicals.
That is absolutely right. So this is fantastic. I'm going to try the, you had said the café con leche,
Yes.
right?
And I also want you to try flan, because we make
Oh,
flan
flan.
ice cream and nobody else does that.
It's very difficult.
Well,
to
nobody
do-
just does it. Nobody's made it ever. We're the first people to make it. So if you like coffee, I think this is a great, great addition. Also, I wanted to talk about the chocolate.
You know, it's very interesting, because you do get the chocolate, I mean the coffee taste,
Yes.
but what a neat addition of adding Oreo cookies to it.
Yes. A customer asked me to do that.
It is, I've never had that combination, and it's still a beautiful tasting, lingering.
nice balance,
It
right.
is a beautiful balance.
Agreed.
So let's go ahead and try your chocolate. And tell me about your chocolate.
Okay, so our chocolate, we have a chocolatier, and the chocolatier is a young girl, and she's Carolina, but she has a company called Esquisito. So she's also on 8th Street.
Oh.
So I started buying her chocolate because I think it's important that she really goes out and sources it. That's a big deal for us, and at least for me. So
And
this
it gives
is
you a signature
you're
taste
never going
that
to
you're
taste.
not going to get
Correct.
anywhere else. That's,
Correct. Correct.
If you're a chocolate lover,
And
Oh
maybe
my.
Carolina could be one of your people.
I would love
Yes,
Carolina
she'll love it.
to showcase
Yes.
a chocolatier on our program. Oh, this is delicious. I want to thank you so much
You're welcome.
for allowing us into your place. I see that you have every kind of sprinkles as well.
Yes.
So for all size kids, because we're all kids at heart, can come here and enjoy. So come on out to the new location, or the additional location of Azucar Ice Cream Company in downtown Dadeland, actually next to Chili's. You can't miss it.
Yes.
It's a perfect location to enjoy ice cream year round.
Year round.
So thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you for
Absolutely.
coming.
You bet. One final thing. Is there anything else that you want to bring up? Any special promotions, any upcoming events, or something that I may have failed to mention that you really want to let our listeners and viewers know about?
Well, I mean, I'd love for Little Havana to come back. I'm the vice president of Viernes Culturales. Bill is the president of Viernes
Absolutely
Culturales.
correct. It's a passion project for you guys.
20 years.
Little Havana.
This is the 20th year.
Fantastic.
So I would love to bring that back, and that's what we're working on every day to try to bring that festival back. It's a big deal for us.
Correct, and obviously it's hard because we know we're going to lose income this year with Art Basel canceling.
Oh yeah, terrible.
And we're hoping that there'll be decisions made in time where things would be better for Food and Wine Festival, because we know for South Florida how important winter is because,
Yes.
right, correct, and for all the
Yes.
business owners. So tell real quick, what are your addresses and telephone numbers and your hours?
So our hours here will be from noon to 9, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
And that's at Downtown Dadeland.
Downtown Dadeland. And Thursday and Friday, we're from noon to 11. Sunday from noon to 10.
Fantastic.
And the store in the store in Little Havana as well. So we're normally from 11 on, but we haven't started that again, and we'll do that within the next month or so.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you for having me.
I can see your success. First of all, you answer your phone. Many people don't answer your phone. And you jumped on the opportunity, and I am so grateful and thankful for you coming on the Scoop on Miami, and for us to be able to share a little Azucar with all of our viewers and listeners. Thank you so much,
Thank you very
Susie.
much. And thank you for doing this, because I got to tell you, it makes a big difference to small businesses like us.
Well, thank you. That's very kind. Have a great day.
You
Bye-bye.
do.
That'll do it for this episode of the Scoop on Miami Adventures, and I'll be looking for you. I'll save the shotgun seat for you until next time on the Scoop on Miami Adventures.